Welcome back. The Nightly Sports Call brought to you by Ireland Contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. Taking your calls on the Borders and Borders hotline, 412-575-2600. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. We have Josh, not me, different Josh, who tweets it might be time for Davidas Neverauskas to get on with his life's work with the old Chuck Noll reference. The interesting part with Neverauskas is the way he started out. He actually started out pretty well and then put a couple guys on and just could not seem to get out of that web. And that's the same thing that happened with Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams managed to hit the first batter he faced, then walks a guy, and then promptly gets a three-run home run. For some odd reason, that last jam those guys get into is the one they can't seem to get out of. It's a frustrating situation. It's frustrating when maybe you see your reliever go through it or your starter go through it. It's twice as frustrating when you see your reliever and your starter go through it in the same game. That's when you know things aren't going too well. We will go to the phone lines. Mike in Breezewood. Mike, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, you asked the question of did Bell play that properly. I've seen better footwork on a little leaguer. I mean, I don't know who's working with that guy to make him a first baseman, but I've never seen a major league ball player step towards second when the throw's coming from home. That was pathetic. And Ray Searage is supposed to be such a great pitching coach. He hasn't developed a great pitcher or even a pretty good pitcher since he's been in Pittsburgh. And you say about the talent, these guys they've had in here those guys were supposed to be top-notch players when they come in. He hasn't developed anybody into a top-notch ball player, top-notch pitcher. The only thing he does is revamp over-the-hill guys. It's time to start over. Just a segment on the Curve the other night that they're one of the top minor league systems in the country. Well, several years ago in 2015, we couldn't raid the minor league system to make a run at the series in 2015. That's the guys we're playing with now, and they are surely pathetic-looking ball players. And you say they're a middle-of-the-road ball club, they're at the bottom of the barrel, buddy. There's no goodness about this team at all from the top down.
I'm wondering if you've seen some of the bad teams in baseball play. Have you seen some of the bad teams? Have you seen Detroit? Have you seen the White Sox? Have you seen Baltimore? Those are bottom-of-the-barrel teams. Those are the worst teams that are walking around here. They're not that bad. They're not that far away from being that bad, but they're not that bad. I've seen some of the bottom-of-the-barrel teams play. They're not there yet. Remember, the Orioles had Pedro Alvarez DHing for them, and that was the guy the Pirates got rid of. That should be a clue to you. But to your point, I actually made this analogy not too long ago on Bucko Talk Saturdays, 9 to 11, 93.7 The Fan. That Ray Searage sometimes reminds you of that uncle that has the old beat-up car, that he's the only one that can drive it. He's got that old bucket that no one else can roll up the windows. No one else can start it but him. No one else can roll the windows down but him. No one can seem to work the steering wheel but him. But he's the only guy that can seem to operate that old beat-up car. That's Ray Searage. That's that uncle he's become. Now, the interesting part is, I know a lot of people are saying it's time to do something different, but here's the problem. Neil Huntington, Clint Hurdle, those guys, all got contract extensions. So I'm not expecting that anytime soon. Going back to the phone lines, Brian in Evansburg. Brian, you're the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just been watching the game and I turned it to your show. This is ridiculous.
What, the show or the game or both?
The game.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's time to get rid of the bullpen and start revamping and get rid of the owner and bring in an owner that's going to put a lot of money into it and build a team that's going to go to the World Series.
Where are you going to find a new owner?
I'd say get that guy from Dallas.
That's not what you're missing the point. And thank you for the call. Here's the thing. You don't just fire owners. In order to get rid of an owner, the other 29 owners have to want to get rid of that owner. That's not happening. If that was the case, those other 29 guys would have gotten rid of him already. Here's the problem. Everyone in the league is making money. So no one's unhappy as far as the owners go. Baseball's profitable. They're all cashing in checks right now. It was funny. Chris Mack and I from 93.7 Fan had this discussion going into the season. Just pretty much every owner broke even before a pitch was thrown. Like, I need everybody to understand just how much money baseball globally is making right now as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. So if you're talking about getting rid of owners, you got to have 29 or at least what I guess if there's a majority, 21, 22 other guys that are upset with that guy. And right now, that number is not there because people are actually okay with how this system is working out because, once again, they're all making money. Let's go to Rob in Monaca. Rob, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, Josh. I just like to talk about the Pirates bullpen. It just amazes me that not too long ago we had the best bullpen in all Major League Baseball.
Seems like forever ago, right?
Yes.
It does. It's sad. It's true. But I'm sorry. Continue.
And it's just not too long later, like 3 years later, now we're maybe one of the worst in all of baseball right now.
Definitely one of the most volatile. That's for certain.
And it just amazed me that Neil Huntington and all of them and Bob Nutting can't come together and realize that maybe they need to spend a little bit more money than like they were about 4 years ago. It's just they can't do what they do with this current payroll, and they can't win really.
Or just do what they did before and bring in better guys. And thank you for the call. Remember, a couple years ago when that bullpen was the best in the game, Jarrett Hughes, Tony Watson, Mark Melancon, and that bullpen was still pretty cheap for what those guys did. It ain't about the money with bullpens. Just find guys that can throw. And nowadays, bullpens are built with a lot of younger arms. And what do most young arms have in common? They're cheap. But you got to find the good ones. And right now, they're not employing the good ones. It's really that simple. Clinton Altoona, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for
calling. I want to
calling.
ask you a couple of questions. First off, do you know right offhand where the Pirates are in payroll, how many teams are below them, and if those teams are in a playoff hunt or not this year?
They are, I believe they are 6th from the bottom, if my math is correct. And I don't think anybody below them is in it, but I got to double check that. I haven't looked at it recently.
Yeah, because I'd look and see, because I'm more talking about Pirates woes and everything. Everybody, that's old hat, the rehash and stuff. But you're like the Phillies, they were supposed to stink this year. They're on their way to 11 games above 500. And Atlanta, I mean, a good young team. You have you were talking about some of the bad teams in baseball. I think the Pirates, after the years, or when the year is over, they'll probably end up being, I don't know, maybe the 3rd or 4th worst team in the National League. I mean, they're only, 2 games ahead of the Reds right now for last place?
Somewhere like that. And the Reds are surging. How that's happening, I have no idea. But the Reds are playing good baseball right now.
The Mets and Marlins and maybe San Diego are about the only 3 teams that are worse than the Pirates. I don't think the Pirates are better than any other team in the National League.
I would agree with that, and thanks for the call. I love how you mentioned Philly and Atlanta. You know what Philly and Atlanta did? They scrapped everything and went young. They went young. Houston scrapped everything and went young. A few years back, Chicago scrapped everything and went young. You know who else even went young a few years ago? Even the Yankees went young. There's a theme there. Perhaps scrap some of these veterans. Go young. And good young talent while you're at it. That might be a good way to go about it. Taking a break here. We'll be back. Stick around.